question arises, what next for Vladimir Putin? It's an embarrassing moment for him. He has been campaigning across the country. He's won that election, promising to ensure national security for its citizens. Clearly, he has been left red-faced, Ambassador Seth.
Yes, it is a little embarrassing for him, and especially soon after his victory and his assertions that the security of the Russian people is paramount, etc. And even amidst the ongoing war with Ukraine, and I think it is a setback for him and for the security apparatus. And I think there is some heads will roll, I guess, and there will be retaliatory action. I agree with Pratikrit. There will be retaliatory action by them. They've already arrested some of these terrorists, and I think they will get to the bottom of this and try and take retaliatory action. Not try, they will take it. This is what I feel. They will take some retaliatory action against these terror groups, and including in their base, including in Syria, and even if they are operatives in different countries, they will definitely target them, including in Ukraine. The Ukraine may have officially denied any linkage, but since they were heading towards Ukraine, there are chances that their sort of sleeping cells or something, or whatever you want to call them, in Ukraine may have some link with this. And it is highly likely that retaliatory action will be taken by the Russians, by the Russian government, by the Russian security forces against the ISIS. And also this because they have been, saying that the Christians, they have got this long-standing grouse against that the Christians are responsible and against the ISIS for being for the way they are sort of ousted from everywhere and killed everywhere, and so they have this religious element or religious aspect also coming in, and I think Russia will not let this go unanswered. Sure.
But on what scale, Patikrit? The fact that, as you mentioned, there is a war going on. On what scale do you think Russia will be able to retaliate? Will be able to, sort of give out that message? Number one, that don't take us lightly, and we're not going to retaliate just because we're in the middle of the war. And of course, to see that its own citizens get some sort of justice. But the fact of the matter is that Russia itself is not doing very well on the ground when we look at the war as much as it thought it would at the start of this war. So clearly one challenge remains, but the other one has already popped up.
Sure, you're right. But at the same time, we must not forget that Russia still has certain amount of aerial assets which it keeps present in Syria, which consists primarily of some of their top cutting-edge fighter planes, including the Sukhois. So I predict that there would be certain kind of bombings by the Sukhoi 34s and Sukhoi 35s using some of the most dangerous cluster munitions, as they have done in the past, and that was supported by Syria, and probably one of the reasons why the ISIS was on the back foot. So there would be attacks over there. It would result in casualties. It would again, give rise to the sectarian emotions that is there over in that place, where it is presumed generally that Russia is extremely pro-Iran, pro-Shia, and is against these ISIS based organizations, which are generally Sunni in nature. Doesn't necessarily mean that they support all the other Sunni countries. So I think for some time Russia was away from Middle East. It is going to go back to Middle East in front of a war, but mostly it will be either special operations or aerial attacks. I don't think they will commit foot soldiers anymore into Middle East because their priority is Ukraine. My last point, Shreya, I think it's a matter of concern for the whole world. In the last half a decade, we have seen these attacks on shopping malls, on cinema theaters and other places. Civilian places had come down, but it's an indication that ISIS has not given up that option. We had seen several such attacks a decade back, but it's going to come back. And I think these are warning signs for other democracies also, including India. So we have to be very, very careful, because virtually these elements get radicalized, inspired by each other to do similar things in their own respective countries.